AREWA Bestie. For the very first time I have a guest on this channel. In fact, can you introduce yourself or should I do the introduction myself?
I'll leave it to you.
His name is Mr. Russell, and to be honest with you, this is a guy that he's well learned. Like what I mean by he's well learned, I'm not trying to say that kind of night school kind of. I'm just joking. I'm not trying to throw jazz at people with night school. In fact, I think along the line I've done night schooling, but that's by the way. Well, today's topic, as you can see, is youth and entitlement. I have younger ones actually, and I have kids, even though they're not yet teenagers. But I look at them growing up and one day becoming teenagers and finally adults. Right now we have this set of adults because they are already adults. There's no way about it. Millennials, yes. I'm not a millennial. Are you a millennial?
I don't. It depends on the sense in which you look at millennial. If you're asking me whether I was born within this millennium, well, I would say in that sense I am a millennial.
Okay, okay. So you're a millennial by heart, like at heart. Let me just say you're a millennial.
All right. I'm not up to 2,000 years old.
Okay,
so
okay. Well, I've had friends that are millennials. I still do actually, and some of them have these entitlements. Like here we discuss real issues, that is it, AREWA Bestie. Yeah, we discuss real life issues. Some of these millennials are so entitled. Like currently there's even the Big Brother Nigeria going on. I don't know if you have time to watch that because not everybody is really into that kind of programs. Like you could see,
there is nothing wrong
right?
with watching it.
Okay, most of them of course are millennials.
We don't have time.
Good, okay, I do watch it. In fact, I even have some content surrounding Big Brother Nigeria content. I'll still bring more. What do you think about entitlement mentality of the millennials, of the youth, Mr. Russell?
Well, by entitlement, I'm guessing you mean what they think, what these our today youths feel they have rights to.
Very good.
What they define as their rights.
Very good.
Well, I think that has changed from what I used to know as a young boy. As a young boy, growing up, then all we needed to do was to do our home chores.
But don't you think as a young boy it's outdated right now?
Well, I'm coming to that. Okay. I'm trying to build. I'm building a theory.
Okay.
As a young boy growing up, then we'll do our home chores and allow our parents do theirs. There was nothing like entitlement. For us, we are born to be of service to our parents, and we have service to them. Now, whether our parents reciprocate or not, it was entirely up to them. We didn't have any role to play. I didn't envisage a situation where I would begin to drag my father to a court, to a juvenile court, or to whatever, and to drag him to come and answer to not doing this or not doing that. No, there was no need for that. I felt that I owed him one duty, one obligation to serve him, make him happy, do whatever I could to keep the home running. And
I believe not just your father, I think elders around them.
Everyone around us then, as growing up then, we just felt we just had to serve them. And when in this kind of service was altruistic. And altruistic service is one that does not have any ulterior motive. We are being of service for service sake. It was service for service. That is service for the sake of service. So it was a kind of servile ontology. When you say ontology, that is just being of service for the sake of service.
Let me cut you here short. All right, I'm going to link his Facebook bio, yeah, in the description area. Just check it. I believe you're already vibing to what Mr. Russell is saying. Just go down there and you'll see more. So sorry, let's continue.
It's all right. So when service is delivered without any expectation, then you are actually being of service as a human being. It's a humanitarian service.
And now I didn't even specify. When we talk of these millennials, are we talking of both male and female?
Millennials, every youth, everybody, everyone that has a parent or has parents is a millennial and born within this millennium.
And the males,
born within the millennium.
And if you ask me, it's my own unpopular opinion, as I always say in this channel, the comment section is down there. Let's talk, let's communicate, let's vibe. Now, when we talk of the males, for me, I feel they have this wealth mentality. A guy just wakes up one day, starts working in a place. In less than 1 year, he wants to be the boss. Does it make sense? That is the male. Then for the female side, they have this financial entitlement as well. But this time around, they have it without attitude. And you understand what I'm saying? So when I say without attitude, it's the fact that attitude in a positive way, meaning without manners. Okay, I think that one would be more
I'll react to the males that think that by just working for 1 or 2 days they can amass wealth.
Exactly.
Well, that it is both by origin attitudinal and then by virtue of acquisition acquired. Sometimes peer pressure comes into that. You look at your fellow men and then you see young boys like you in society who are doing very well without taking your time to find out how they acquired whatever they acquired. So you feel that by doing whatever you're doing, you should also be in floating in wealth like they are. And because of that, you begin to make unnecessary.
What about one of the female?
I will, before I go to the film, I want to look at the character defect issue. By origin, for some people, by nature, due to perhaps lack of good parental guidance, some people become deviants.
But don't you think even with good parental values, don't you think there are also societal values?
That is where I talk about acquired case. There's an acquired case where I talk about peer influence. Then there is a character defect case of origin. Now, in that case, it originates in the person, in the basis
so I'm trying to say there is a conflict in these two.
Well, they go hand in hand.
When I was growing up, they told me that charity begins at home. So my parents made me believe that the values I had from home was what I was going to live with outside the society. But then you do see that happening, especially among the millennials.
Whether we choose to agree or not, home training matters a lot. It guides you. So if it is wrong, if it's not well, if you're not well nurtured by your guidance, by your parents,
I've been in a situation
you are bound to be gullible. You'll be easily influenced.
Okay, I've been in a situation where, of course, I went to the higher institution, I went to school, I was once a youth myself. There are girls that were even from very, let's say, religious homes. Their fathers were pastors, their fathers were imams, but they were saints at home, but devils outside. So what would you say about that? Are you trying to say the parenting was not done properly?
Well, in some of these cases, the pressure coming from the peer group, it tends to subdue that coming from the moral training taking place.
Mr. what I get from
so that happens sometimes when the child tends to listen to what he or she hears outside, rather than what he or she hears inside.
Mr. Russell, so what I'm getting from what you're telling me, I don't know if you're getting it too as well, is the fact that we shouldn't blame the millennials, rather we should blame the society.
No, we also have to look at the how amenable the millennials are to the training taking place at home. Some children tend to look outward rather than inward. So in that case, what happens in the larger society is of more influence to them than the home training they're receiving from the parents.
So the problem is the entitlement we're having with our millennials, both male and female to be specific, I'm not going just one direction, is the society. Society is too harsh on them.
It's a matter of what they see and how prepared they are for the society. Now, some people don't want to be trained. Their parents try as much as possible to train them. But they're not listening. They're not imbibing. They're not imbibing these moral qualities from their parents.
Mr. Russell is also an educationist. So you're literally trying to say, just like an education concept, let me borrow from education concept, where you are able to teach a learner only when the learner is motivated.
But that's the point.
Bring it backward home.
That's
your child. How do you not give the motivation? It's your child, and we're Africans. You and I know we're Nigerians. Let's even be more specific. We just feel that this is our child. We should be the parents, and they should be the child. But that's the proper way. Is it?
We should be the parent, and they should be the child. Itself does not provide a learning environment. A learning situation is one where you have dissemination of information from one to the other and vice versa, because sometimes the parents themselves can learn from their children.
Let's set the parents aside. What about religious leaders? Do they also play a role in the life of these millennials?
Of course they do, but I have to say this. It's a pity that in the kind of nation, the times we live in, these religious leaders have not lived up to their
So let's just leave that. This is not a religious channel. Let's just leave that aside. So let's still come back to whatever it is.
But we have to look at it. It's also very important.
That's a video
because where the parents fail, the religious leaders ought to succeed.
Help, right?
They should enable these we call them corrupt versions of millennia to be corrected by the religious institutions.
So in conclusion, what do you think about this entire entitlement mentality.
Now we have been talking without looking at what entitlement means.
All right.
By entitlement we mean a millennial, a child in this millennium. They're walking up to his parent and saying, I should have this. I should
I think
have
that's a good
that.
example.
I need a car. I deserve a car. That I deserve to school overseas. I am going to say that no child has the right to tell his father, his parent, what he deserves.
When I was growing
the parent ought to know what the children
Exactly.
deserve.
When I was growing up, my school fees was a
influencing the
privilege
parents.
to me, not a right. But now the millennials, it's almost like it must be given to them.
And I will state this here: our parents don't owe us the best of education and all that. The minimum education is enough. And then, if our parents are exposed enough, they will see the need to, go for that. Sometimes all we need is just a push from our parents, just a push, and then we go the extra mile. So going back to your parents, they say sometimes these parents are themselves are not educated.
Exactly.
To tell your father that you want to go to Harvard, you want to attend this, just because your father has money.
That's the
Without minding the fact, sometimes without minding the fact that your father labored, toiled
That's
to
the
become rich
entitlement I'm talking about.
without attending
Very
Harvard.
good. I
You
think
say
you
because
answered
your
our
father
question.
is rich, he must send you to
Exactly.
Harvard. If he doesn't send you to Harvard, he will hell will let loose. All of no, you're just wasting your time. You're just manifesting signs of
But don't you think some
moral
parents,
decadence.
don't you think some parents also indulge in it? They also encourage these kids.
We have not given parents clean bills. Some parents themselves have become
Mr. Russell, just promise me that
very
when
negative,
I invite you again,
negative
Mr. Russell, promise us that when we invite you again, you're coming back.
on their children.
Because this
we
is a
have
different topic for another
fathers
day.
who beat up their mothers,
Okay.
their wives before their kids.
And
What are you
that's
teaching the kids?
domestic
How to
violence.
beat up
Exactly,
a woman tomorrow.
Exactly.
So the parents themselves have failed in some cases.
Wow.
But because today I will torchlighting the millennial youths, that's
Mr.
the youths
Russell,
of the millennium. I would like to give them spare some of these parents.
watching a documentary, and this statement was made that the parents themselves have failed. It was admitted that the parents themselves
Not
have
in
failed.
totality anyway. There is no
Yeah,
universal statement.
some. Let me go and generalize. Some of the millennial parents have failed.
Yes, some have failed massively,
Thank you so much.
dismally.
Thank you so much. In fact, you're coming back. You don't have a choice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My name is Asma'u, and this is Mr. Russell. As I said, I'm going to put his Facebook profile in the bio when you want to go check him out. In fact,